You're sitting in a meeting. Someone makes a comment about your work wrapped in humor, delivered with a grin, but laced with something else, something sharp. The room laughs. You feel it land. What do? Most people do nothing. They smile along. They tell themselves it's not worth the energy. They wait for it to pass. But here's what they do and realize. That moment, that single moment of letting it slide, just changed how everyone in that room sees you. Welcome back to Reality and Rise. Today, we're diving into something that separates those who are walked over from those who are revered. We're talking about respect. Not the kind you beg for, not the kind you hope someone grants you, but the kind you architect through strategic silence, calculated distance, and surgical precision. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about being unmovable. Let's begin. Disrespect doesn't start with an explosion. It starts with a whisper, a joke that feels off, a tone that shifts, a comment disguised as concern. And most people, they rationalize it away. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. But here's the truth. Disrespect is never accidental. It's always a test. Someone is checking to see if you'll enforce your boundaries or if you're safe to push. And the moment you let it pass without response, you've answered that question for them and for everyone watching. Because make no mistake, people are always watching. They re-watching to see if you LL defend your line, or if you LL negotiate it away for comfort. They're watching to see if your silence means acceptance or strategy. And depending on what they see, they'll either recalibrate how they treat you, or they'll test you again, harder. This is why ignoring disrespect is the worst possible move. Not because you need to fight every battle, but because silence without intention is permission. It teaches the room that your boundaries are suggestions, not laws. So what do you do instead? You do something most people never master. You respond without reacting. Here's the first rule. The person who loses their composure loses the game. When someone disrespects you, they're expecting one of two reactions. Either you explode, giving them proof that you're emotional and unstable, or you laugh it off, signaling that you're weak and accommodating. You give them neither. Instead, you go still, not passive strategic. You withdraw your energy completely. No laugh, no deflection. No explanation of how it made you feel. Just cold, controlled silence. This does something powerful. It disrupts the rhythm. The person who made the comment was expecting feedback, laughter, defensiveness, embarrassment. When they get none of that, they're suddenly off balance. The joke falls flat. The room feels it. And now, they're the one who looks exposed. But you don't stop there. After the silence, you deliver the second move, the mirror question. You look them in the eye calmly, not aggressively, and you say something like, "Did you mean to say it that way?" Or, "You sure you want to repeat that?" Or, "That sounded personal. Want to clarify before I respond?" Notice what you're doing here. You're not denying the attack. You're not defending yourself. You're inviting them to own it publicly. You're asking them to double down on record in front of everyone. And most people won't. Because most people who disrespect you aren't bold. They're opportunistic. They were testing the water, not declaring war. But now, with your cold clarity and unflinching eye contact, they realize something. This person isn't safe to test. And that realization, that's where your power begins. Now, here's where most people fail. They think handling one moment of disrespect is enough. They confront it, move on, and assume everything goes back to normal. It doesn't, because if you return to normal, If you warm back up too quickly, if you pretend nothing happened, you've just taught them that your boundaries have no lasting consequence. So here's the third move. You reframe the entire relationship. You don't go back to how things were. You don't laugh with them the same way. You don't offer the same energy, the same warmth, the same availability. You become colder, more distant, more formal, not out of pettiness, out of principle. They crossed the line, and lines have costs. They lost access. And you're not explaining that to them. You're letting them feel it. This is what changes everything. Because now, it's not just about that one moment. It's about what comes after. Your shift in energy becomes a lesson to the entire room. Others notice. They see that you don't tolerate certain behavior. They see that disrespecting you has consequences, not trauma, not arguments, just permanent distance. And suddenly, people start speaking to you differently. They choose their words more carefully. They check their tone before they approach you. Your name becomes associated with a new phrase. Don't mess with them. You didn't demand that reputation. You built it through controlled, consistent consequence. But some people won't stop. They'll see your boundaries as a challenge, not a warning. They'll test you again, subtly, carefully, indirectly. Another joke, another comment, another passive dismissal wrapped in plausible deniability. This is when you escalate not emotionally, but socially. You make their behavior visible. You spotlight it without shouting. For example, if they make another inappropriate joke, you pause, tilt your head, and say, "That's an interesting comment. Do you say that kind of thing at work too?" Or, "I'm surprised you said that out loud. Want to walk that back?" You're not arguing. You're exposing. You're making the room see what they just did. And you're doing it with surgical calm. This is the power of controlled confrontation. You're not attacking them. You're holding up a mirror and forcing everyone, including them, to see their own behavior clearly. And most people will crumble under that pressure, not because you overpowered them, but because you made them own their actions publicly. That's how you win without fighting. Now, here's the final layer, the one that turns respect into permanence. You become unpredictable, not chaotic, not unstable, just harder to read. You don't respond the same way twice. Sometimes you go silent. Sometimes you confront directly. Sometimes you withdraw entirely. You keep people guessing about what you'll do next. And here's why that matters. Uncertainty creates caution. When people can't predict your response, they stop testing you. They become more careful. They second-guess themselves before speaking, because the person they're unsure of is the person they instinctively avoid crossing. This is how you build lasting power. Not through intimidation, but through presence calm, controlled, and completely self-regulated. You don't need to dominate every room. You just need to make it clear. I am not available for disrespect, and I won't explain that to you twice. So let me leave you with this. Respect isn't something you earn by being nice. It's something you enforce by being unmovable. The next time someone disrespects you, whether it's a joke, a comment, or a look, don't react emotionally. Don't explode. Don't explain. Go still. Ask the mirror question. Withdraw your energy. And never return to normal. Let them feel the cost of crossing your line. Let the room see that you don't negotiate boundaries. You enforce them. Because the people who never get disrespected aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They're the ones who've made disrespect too expensive. Not through rage, not through revenge, but through disciplined silence and unapologetic self-respect. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe to Reality and Rise for more insights on power, psychology, and personal mastery. Drop a comment below telling me about a time you had to enforce a boundary and what happened next. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strategic, and remember, respect isn't given, it's commanded.